There we go. Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to Esther Austin Global. I am still in St. Kitts. This is my second to last day, and I am at the Women of Purpose conference. It's been an amazing conference. They're talking about women's sustainable economic development. We're talking about emotional stuff. We're talking about abuse and domestic abuse and all sorts. So today I'm going to be interviewing Ameera again, but from a different perspective. We're going to be talking about her journey with abuse, so she's going to define that as we go through the interview. So Ameera,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you so much and having me again in a different topic. Hi viewers.
Love her hair. Look at that hair.
Well, you know, do my
Gorgeous,
thing, do
gorgeous.
my thing.
We try. Okay, Ameera, you shared yesterday as part of your talk about your experience with abuse. Now, can you define what that abuse was? Was it physical, emotional, mental? What sort of abuse did you experience in a relationship?
It was mental abuse, definitely, not physical. But in some cases it felt physical because it was that hurtful and impactful and painful. But it was more mental, definitely mental abuse.
So there's a
and
lot of
that-
background noise, isn't there?
No, that's fine.
That's the
I'll
lady.
add it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some. Okay.
So there's more mental, and then the financial came along with the power control.
It's interesting because you mentioned financial control. Now, I feel it's the first time in a while that I've heard abuse in that context. Can you just elaborate what financial abuse
Yes.
was in your situation?
Okay, well, in this case, it was my mother.
Okay.
And because she was the breadwinner, she was the one with the money. And if I didn't want to do something that she wanted me to do, for instance, she would then use her financial power against me and basically try and take control of the situation. So then I had to buckle to what she wanted me to do. And at a young age, I came up with the mindset that that is a normal behavior until I got older and I realized that that was not normal for somebody to manipulate you by using financial tactics when you couldn't even get a job because you were small.
Okay, so in effect, so did she deny you certain things on a financial basis or deny to buy you things?
Well, on the contrary, she would buy me exactly what I wanted and then use that against me when she didn't get what she wanted.
Okay.
You get me? So it was kind of like it was on a rope. But, oh, you don't want to do this? Well, then I guess you don't want this anymore, do you? And then it's like, no, I really do it.
And how did that make you feel as a young woman growing up from a place of disempowerment? How did you feel in that disempowered place? And I'm talking about the sensations, the feelings.
Angry. I was angry, I was bitter, I was very sarcastic, but I did not know how to feel and I did not know how to express that because I'm a only child.
Okay.
And there was never anyone around me. It was kind of a Cinderella concept where I would kind of clean and cook and straight from school go home, was not allowed to have friends and very secluded. It was basically her all the time. So I had make believe friends. I had my stuffed animals. TV basically showed me what the real world was. I had no clue what reality was, but I didn't know that that was an unknown thing until I got older. And then I saw that what I was, I didn't even know. Like I said in my talk, I didn't know who I was because I knew what she wanted me to be, but there was still a conflict too that just doesn't feel like me. But because I didn't have no one to talk to, I thought that I was a problem.
Okay. And how did you transition out of that space? You know, what was your aha moment?
My aha moment was when I had a nervous breakdown at 23 and I had to talk to physical therapists and all of these people that was recommended because the doctor has to give that notice to those people if they sense that you have psychological issues.
Okay.
I wanted to kill myself many times. Barely attempted it, but mentally I attempted it many times. I would be disappointed if I woke up the next day because I kind of hoped it would happen without me having to do it. And after having my moment of, hey mom, I kind of need you to not talk to me for a minute because I need to go through some stuff. She of course didn't respect that and used her manipulative ways to still figure stuff out. And basically my daughter, when she was born, was when that came around of, oh my God, I'm a mother now. And I still didn't feel like a mother. I still felt like a child. Even though I was in Holland, it felt like I was in the backyard because I still did what she wanted me to do, even though I
That
had
psychological
It was-
indoctrination.
Oh boy, it was heavy. She had a real grip on me.
And so when did you start to recognize, because you were in this situation and you said that even when you were away from her, you started to notice certain traits that you were exhibiting as a result of your experience with your mother. How were you able to transition once again from that place of recognition to where you are now?
Well, I had to bury my mother. I had to bury my mother. Let me explain. She's alive. I had to bury the idea of the mother that I never had. So basically what that meant is that I wanted to have a mother that was supportive and loving and caring and didn't want to show me off to the world and just wanted to love me for who I was. She did not exist. And I was trying every day of my life to be what she wanted, because I hoped that if I did what she wanted me to do, that she would then do what I want, which is be the mother that I want. And at 33 years old, I realized that that's not going to happen. I don't know. I started to listen to a lot of motivational tapes and people. And the conclusion was that through her jealousy of me, that was overwhelming and literally stepped on my life. I
like that, stepped on my life.
Stepped on it. I had to, people always talked about detaching yourself from friends who are shutting you down. But I never heard anyone say, detach yourself from your parents. And that for me was completely something new. I have to bring it down.
Yeah.
So you gotta bring it down.
It's there.
It's good. So after I came to the conclusion of I have to bury the person I always wanted as a mother because she does not exist. That person is in my head. It's not real. In order for me to see the true person that she is, in order to love her for her faults and who she is and what she stands for, I couldn't do that if I was looking at her from a mother's view, because it was always in a disappointed view. So I had to bury that person, and then what emerged is her true personality, and I saw her as a human being and who she is. So now I can love her for her, to not put her on a pedestal of expectance because I will be disappointed, and to be okay if she disappoints me because that's her. But that is not me.
It's interesting because I went through a similar situation with my mother. I'd spent a lot of my life being criticized by her. She didn't understand me, because I didn't fit into a box. Every day I was different, and for a lot of the older generation, that was a lot for her to deal with. And also on a spiritual level, I was just different. I was different. And there was a point when if my mother called me, she was in my space, I would shrink. I couldn't speak. I would clam up. And I realized I couldn't go through life with this experience anymore. And what I had to do was go through some healing around that. So I had to accept my mother for who she was and her stuff, but then I had to also recognize my stuff and me for who I was. And when I got those two between those two polarities, I was then able to be me. And it was okay for me to be me because I had recognized who I was within these dynamics, but also recognize her, but also to contain my power within those dynamics. And even though she was my mother, I was at the place where I could say, Mum, no, I disagree. Yes, I agree. And claim back my power in that space so I understand what you're talking about. And as we are transitioning, I love that word transitioning because I'm feeling that word really transitioning. We're moving forward because how did this experience impact a personal relationship, an intimate relationship?
Oh, well, that camera going up again. You need to bring it down.
It must be the heat. It's hot. It must be your arms.
He's doing a great job. Great job.
Biceps after this.
For me, where it impacted me the most was I had my best friend. He is everything to me. I was in a relationship with him, and the day he said, I can't be with you no more, that is what shocked me because I thought I was being a really good girlfriend and everything. And then when he distanced himself to me, that shocked me into what's wrong with you if he leave you. Like, he can't leave you, you gotta leave him because this is not how it works. And then is when we started to communicate more. And I realized we didn't communicate. We did not talk truth because he was trying to just make me happy and trying to ease me down and not have a issue with communication where it is combined anger and frustration because I didn't know how angry I was through the unforgiveness of my mother that projected into this awesome relationship that I had, and it killed it. And so for me, that was my shocking awareness. That was my wake-up call to see who am I and what am I doing. And then I started to look at my daughter, and then I said, oh my goodness, I am allowing my mother's presence in my daughter, because in my mind, I'm like, it's her grandmother, it's her grandmother. But my daughter's being verbally abused just like me. She's in that same position, and I'm like, why? If you would have wished somebody could have rescued you, you allowing your child to be in that because she's your grandmother.
Yes.
And I had to bury her grandmother too, because I buried my mother. I had to bury, and then she would come back home crying and say, well, it's okay, it's grandma. Go from here. I don't want you here. This is why you're a bad child, you're rude. And I'm like, baby, you're not that. You're amazing, you're great. But why are you going back by grandma? Well, this is just how life is. She literally just accepted the verbal abuse, but that's normal. And that messed me up because it took me 33 years to get out of that. So now I have to literally, physically detach myself from her whole entire environment. Because when I learned that my mother was jealous of me, high jealous of me, I had to accept that. I didn't want to accept that, Esther. I didn't want to accept that my mother was jealous of me.
But sometimes it's an unconscious thing as well, isn't it? It's an unconscious thing because oftentimes our mothers see themselves through us, but it becomes a little introverted.
Yeah.
And then that's where I feel the abuse comes in, because they don't know how to express all that internal stuff that they've carried for years, and so then their understanding of life is what they see through projecting onto you.
So basically, at the end of the day, what I want to have your listeners understand is that it's not always on the outside. It's also on the inside. Your family can also be your parents, the ones who are limiting your growth and your success. And you have to now come to a realization that it's my mother, or it's my father, or it's my child, or my husband. I understand that. I have to let them go in that sense. I have to choose me, because the world depends on my greatness. In order to shine and help as many people as possible, what God put us on earth to do, I have to be alive to do that. And if I die now, I will not be able to live in my greatness and my essence.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Ameera. Now, Ameera, how can people connect with you? Because I know a lot of people are going to want to connect with your story, because your story is my story, my story is our story.
Well, what I want people to know is I'm actually thinking on writing a book, believe it or not.
Good.
And I want to collaborate with other individuals with the similar story and create a book. I still don't know the title yet. Me and my partner were thinking about it. We're still best friends. It's just partners. We're going to think on a title of it, and it's going to be a collaborative story book of different women or even men experiences of having their mother or their father be that person that they have to then detach from. Fantastic. So my email address, you can contact business-wise, is align, ALIGN, SXM, alignSXM@gmail.com. You can WhatsApp me or call St. Martin number, area code St. Martin, big up, area code 1721-522-8670. So 1721-522-8670, or simply go on Facebook and look for Ameera Groeneveldt.
I love how she's pronounced that. Ameera
Groeneveldt.
Just Ameera.
Not gonna do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This is Esther for Esther Austin Global at the Women of Purpose Conference and Retreat in St. Kitts. Thank you.
Thank you.